Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Light and Flash played on the ladder, so let's watch it. I know TVT is not everyone's favorite. Some people definitely do enjoy the strategic aspects, but that's a fun one. We have Light down here in the bottom left of KICKBACK. In the top left, we have Flash. KICKBACK is an insane map, played really weird. Light is very good at KICKBACK for sure. Haven't seen as many Flash games on it. Either way, yeah, I mean, it's good to have a mirror match. I don't know if this is going to release on Monday. I know people have been saying, "Ooh, mirror match Mondays." Probably not going to happen, but I am trying to maybe get a few more mirror matches into the channel as well. Not too many, but I think it's, you know, if we did 10% mirror matches, maybe that's a good number. Something like that. Anyways, yeah, I actually have a question for you guys while we wait in this early game and watch which builds will be utilized. So it's really hard to compare how good two players are compared to each other within a race. I guess you can look at things like, you know, the tournament wins and things like that, and that's the classic way, and that makes sense. I just wonder if anyone thinks there could be value in comparing. It's like, okay, well, the player who wins the mirror matchup is better at the race. Does that make sense at all? I don't really think so. But, like, for instance, Terran vs. Zerg and Terran vs. Protoss are completely different skills from each other. Not completely, but you know what I mean. They're very, very different matchups. And there's something funny about, like, when someone's really good at the mirror. Something I've definitely noticed is almost always, through the course of StarCraft 1 history, the best mirror matchup player is also the best player of the race. But not always the best at each matchup. Okay? Like, okay, the best Protoss player during prime, some of the prime times of StarCraft Remastered, like when KSL and ASL were both going on at the same time. Like, that was a big era. That was a big moment a few years ago. Rain was dominant PvP and also for sure the strongest Protoss. He was not the best PvT player, though. And in fact, might not have been the best PvZ player. Like, maybe Mini was the best PvZ player and Snow was the best PvT player. But overall, Rain was the best. And he was the best PvP. Flash is always the best TVT player. And always the best Terran player. Back in Jaedong's prime, by far the best CVZ player, and also the best Zerg player. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know if there's more merit when comparing the mirror matchup to see who the best player of a race is. Because everything's even, right? Everything's even. Anyways, let me know what you think. So we have here Command Center first, and we have here, yeah, I guess they're both, it looks like probably both Command Center first. I wasn't paying super close attention. We'll just see by the factory timing. That'll tell us. Oh, yeah, no, their gas is almost completely lined up. Looks like Flash's build is slightly more optimized. See? It's like 5-second faster factory. That doesn't really matter. Okay, so both of them basically know what's going on as well. When you have these two builds run into each other, you both make Marines and no bunker. So generally, it will be 4 Marines is kind of the average. So let's say that you see that your opponent makes a bunker. You can just, like, not make anything, basically, because they're not going to attack you. They're playing very defensively. So you don't want to make the bunker. So what you do is you make Marines, so that if they attack, you have enough Marines to hold. So if your opponent only makes 2 Marines and you make 4 Marines, you can actually attack and deal a lot of damage. But if you make 4 Marines and your opponent makes 3 Marines, your attack isn't really going to do anything. They can pull like 1 SCV and hold it. And you made an extra Marine and, you know, they got maybe a little bit of an edge there. So anyways, it's just kind of a funny thing. Now, 3 factories coming up immediately. 3 factories coming up immediately. Both sides, of course, going Vultures without add-ons first. Ooh, he actually slips that in. Very good rescout here. You see, he knows now that Marines are on the way. And he actually stops on 1 Vulture. Oh, wow. He actually went up as well. He knew the Marines were on the way. Well, you know what? He actually catches and kills the Marines basically before the Vulture gets here. So actually, that was really good from Light. Yeah, Flash stops since there's enough to repair. Starport on the way. This is a light special. Hold on. Okay, so this is a light special, and see, Flash is going armory. That's more normal. Light, for a very long time, he has some cool mind games that he does in TVT sometimes. Like, if it's 3 factory versus 3 factory vulture, the standard way that a standard ladder player will try to win oftentimes would be like adding a 4th factory. Or if they think you're adding a 4th factory, they'll go up to 5 factories. Hell, I've seen 6 factories on 2 base, which is insanity. But adding the more factories gives you the more vultures. What Light will do is he'll play a more defensive position where he'll stay on the 3 factory, make lots of vultures, keep them in an area where you can't just run in and kill them even if you have a few more vultures. And then he'll make a Wraith. And you'll be making 4 or 5 factories and you won't have an armory, and his Wraith will kill like 12 SCVs. That's a pretty common thing. Like he's done that many times over the years. Here we can see Flash got the armory, then the factory. So he is going to be fine. That doesn't make the Wraith useless, though. The Wraith can get up here, do some scouting, do some light harassment, force some Goliaths. You know, you're forcing some Goliaths, then that's like units that could have been siege tanks, could have been vultures. You have more mobility. You have the vulture advantage at that point. You can get mines down, have a little bit more map control than your opponent. So there is some good things. And it's not that having the Goliaths is bad either. Just the Wraith has a little bit more flexibility to it. Okay, Flash is walking out. Dealt a lot of damage to this one Wraith. We'll need to bring Goliaths with him as well if he's going to push. So here comes the vultures here of Light. Pulls way back. Flash attacking 2 Goliath, 2 Siege Tank. Siege mode is on the way. I honestly don't know that Siege mode is super great here. I actually think he should have gotten mines. But he is sitting and he does siege up, so Flash is probably going to want to pull back. That's an insanely good hit. Flash is trying to dive. Surprised he's diving this hard. Yeah, this... Oh, wait. Is he actually going to break him? Light's SCV drill is doing fantastically. He brings up his Wraiths now. There's only 1 Goliath left over here. Okay, we're actually on just about even workers. Just a 2-worker advantage here for Flash, which isn't the end of the world. And Light does have better tech. He has multiple siege tanks with siege mode. And he also has, you know, a starport. So, pretty good. Comstat's on the way. Flash already has his. Flash has some mines out in the front. Additional command center at this location as opposed to this one. That's kind of interesting as well. Maybe because the barracks is there. Maybe just because he wants to expand in this direction. Kind of spread out there. Make it a little bit harder to attack. This might be a little bit easier to attack. Kind of depends what types of units he wants to take. Like if he wants to do a more frontal... like containment-based strategy, that could make sense to kind of spread his expansions in that direction. Throw some mines down here just to make sure Light doesn't do the same. Light just taking the more natural third base. Wraiths have been repaired. Mines finally on the way. Siege as well as Goliath range for Flash. Sending his SCVs now to his new base. Definitely a little bit more map control for Flash right now. Does have that 4th factory. But I love the dropship coming out. Yeah, it feels like Light is playing with a little bit more flexibility. All right, little drop, getting ready. Look at this. I think it's just to kill that. I do wonder how much damage he's going to get done with this drop. The SimCity isn't too bad for kind of delaying the drop a little bit. Yeah, I like that. Drops it right in the corner where you can't see it. Just run by. right, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not bad. All right, brings Light into a slight SCV advantage after that drop, and he keeps the dropship alive, so very nice. Both sides on 3 bases. Of course, on this map, you run out of resources at these extra bases super, super fast. Light stretching over here. Wants to make sure he doesn't get contained on this side. Flash pulling back. Yeah, he doesn't have any business holding this area and holding this area, so he's just going to back up and kind of split through the middle. This makes the most sense by far. This is a more reasonable area to try to hold with siege tanks. All right, 3 add-ons very quickly. Science facility, additional factory as well. Flash has that. Oh, is he already going 2-1? Yeah, he's already got 2-1 started. Very nice. And he's making the siege line. It's a little bit further forward. And a little bit further forward is good. It's really, really strong. So if you look at the line he's making, okay, he's right here right now, but he's got some units here. But if you look at this line, it's blocking this base. And this up here very likely can block this base. That would be a lot more bases than Light can get. So this is a little bit of an issue. It's not something you have to deal with right this second, but it's something that could come into play if this game turns very long. Area control, extremely important in Terran vs. Terran. Okay, tries to get another decent drop-off. He's not going to get very much damage with it, though. Like 2 SCVs, maybe. In the meantime, Light moving way up the side. Flash just not positionally in the right spot here. Look at this. He's going to aggro some tanks and vultures into his army. Light doing a great job. This was a strong move right here. This is like an important area. This protects this base. Does give him some decent attack options up into this area. If he's holding here, he can very quickly transition from having units on the map that are scary to having units in dropships that are very scary. +2 is not that far off, by the way, for Flash. Light pushing in, going towards center. Light is starting to really take control of this game. Now, Flash is counterattacking as well and hitting 6, but this push from Light looks stronger, at least right now. All right, siege is up. Yeah, +2 is not ready quite yet. Man, if he had even 1 Wraith here, this would be amazing. There's no anti-air at the moment for Light up here. All right, starts to move up. You can see Flash getting his SCVs ready to fight. Sorry, I'm so zoomed out this game. I love TVT zoomed out. Oh, wow. He actually got Light's command center. So Light's so busy microing here, forgets to lift off. Or too busy to lift off, I guess. Flash coming back up. Light ready for him. Definitely can't attack into that. That would be death. So shuts down this base as well. Good defense matrix here as Flash pushes back into the center. Oh, the group of Wraiths. I actually hadn't realized he added a second starport. Good group of 6 Wraiths here. Actually devastating Flash. Look at this. He's going to get the science vessel. He's getting a ton of siege tanks. These Wraiths way more than paying for themselves. Forcing him into this siege line. Flash saying, okay, let's see if we can break that. Because he doesn't have anything else to do with those tanks right now. And I think Light's just going to do it. I think the Wraiths put him right over the top there. So Flash actually does end up clearing that, so he does the absolute best he could with a bad situation. He has some Goliaths coming out, but you gotta look at this and say that Light is just in a better spot. The Wraiths really, really add a lot here. Flash clears that, but a few siege tanks here will keep him back. +2 upgrades done for Flash, but not for Light quite yet. Light in very, very good spots here. Going after that command center. And GG. Wow. If you look at it at the end, their supplies are not that far off, their workers not that far off, and both of them have the same amount of bases. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. I think just the wraiths in general from Light just added that flexibility that he needed, where he was just able to outdo Flash a little bit. Anyways, that was a fun game. Let me know what you think about that TVT stuff I was talking about before, or just mirror matchup stuff in general. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.